Hey folks, this is Riker, and today we had the 4th quarterly update for Diablo 4, which took the form of a live stream with the devs. Game director Joe Shelley and associate game director Joe Pipora spoke about the game and answered some questions. It included some info, some Q&A, and in this video we're going to do a recap of the new information that we learned, and we'll link the full live stream if you want to see it for yourself. So first off, they wanted to clear up some things about the pre-order versions of Diablo 4. There's 3 different editions, and they clarified that pre-ordering any of the 3 will get you the early access to open beta. We don't yet have a beta date, but they did say that early next year we should learn more. They also mentioned that the World of Warcraft mount is based on a character in Diablo 4. That's some new info. So we know it's called the Amalgamation of Rage. We've seen him revealed before. We speculated on him when he was data mined something like 8 months ago. But now this is some kind of a tease that there's probably some form of important character that is tied to this mount, likely rides him. We also got maybe a little bit more extra info on the Inarius wings that you get for the Ultimate Edition. It's an emote. You get to show off those wings with the press of a button. The usage case they gave as an example was in town, but in theory you should be able to emote anywhere. Some fully new info: Battle Pass will be $10. We were estimating a price range of $10 to $20, so we know that the jump from the regular edition to the digital deluxe is $20 more. That means half of that is the Battle Pass, and then the other half is presumably those 2 cosmetics. The Temptation mount plus the Hellborn Carapace mount armor. The Ultimate Edition is then another $10 on top of that. It adds the Wings of the Creator emote, plus the 20 tier skips on the Battle Pass. So I know people have been asking what edition they should get. Hopefully that gives more info on the value of the different things that you're getting with the different editions. We got some reiteration that the collector's box is not a collector's edition. It does not come with the game included. It's priced at $96.66. And the reason it's not bundled with one of these editions is so that you can mix and match. Let's say you don't care about all the digital goodies, but you want the physical box. You can get the standard edition, then the collector's box. Or if you want to go full throttle, you can get the ultimate and the collector's box. They addressed the 4-day early access. They confirmed that Season 1 of Diablo 4 will not start at launch. It'll start weeks after. This seems to suggest it won't be months after, but technically, enough weeks are months. And they reinforced that for Season 1, everyone will have a even playing field. They said a lot of our competitive features, like leaderboards, will show up in Seasons. I believe that is new information. I do wonder what form leaderboards will take. Perhaps they'll be like Diablo 2's leaderboards, with that race to 99, or in Diablo 4's case, 100. Now they clarify that there's 2 different systems at work with regards to the Battle Pass and the Season Journey. Season Journey is its own thing, similar to Diablo 3. You'll earn rewards by itself, but you'll also earn something called Favor, and that Favor helps you on your Battle Pass progression. So basically just by playing the game, pretty much whatever you're going to be doing will be contributing to your Battle Pass in some way. Even if you don't spend the $10 on the Battle Pass, many items will be available for free. And that includes cosmetics, as well as the gameplay boosts being only available on the free track, not on the paid track. And they clarified again, even if you get the accelerated Battle Pass, that means you unlock additional tiers. Even with Season 1, for instance, the boosts have a character level requirement, so you can't make use of the boosts until you've reached a certain character level. And they stress that all seasonal content is free. They're going to keep rolling out these big season updates every 3 months, and you'll never have to spend a dime to access that content unless you consider using cosmetics content. While talking about the collector's box, they mentioned that the Horadrim are a key part of the story of Diablo 4. That's some new information. We did see one of the early reveal videos of Diablo 4 include a character who is wearing a Horadric amulet. Deckard Cain was one of the Horadrim. Tyrael found at the Order of the Horadrim. I'm sure we have a lore video about that somewhere if you want more information. Tal Rasha was one of the Horadrim. In Diablo 3, Tyrael formed the new Order of the Horadrim, because prior to that, Cain was the last of the Horadrim. But we know one of the named new Horadrim in Diablo 3 was Lorath, whom we suspect is the character that we saw in Diablo 4. We got confirmation that the Candle of Creation in the collector's box is is a single candle. It is double-sided. One side is Lilith, one side is Inarius. It's also an electric candle, so it's not going to melt away over time. There's a button, and it is battery operated. We got confirmation that the story of Diablo 4 focuses on the world of Sanctuary as opposed to Heaven or Hell, even though, I mean, based on that cinematic, it's pretty clear Hell at some point plays some role in the story. They said we'll get to explore the character of Lilith and Inarius, their motivations, and that's very important to the overall story. And they said that they'll have a lot more to reveal, I believe story-wise, over the next months leading to launch. Then they spoke a lot about the Codex of Power system. We've spoken about this in past videos, but you should have checked out our full deep dive into the Diablo 4 press beta. They went over details there, perhaps reiterated or re-explained things in slightly more nuanced ways. But basically the game has over 120 dungeons, and every dungeon unlocks, once you've completed it, it unlocks a legendary aspect. Once you've unlocked it, you can then go to a crafter in town called the Occultist, and the Occultist can then imbue that legendary aspect onto a rare to turn it into a legendary, or onto another legendary, overriding its power. And this codex is unlocked account-wide, so on a sorceress, you might be unlocking, you finish a dungeon and you unlock a druid power, then maybe you'll want to make a druid and you'll have instant access to everything you've unlocked. There's going to be specific to classes, but also some generic, usable by all classes aspects. And not every legendary power can be found via this method. There's far more, and you always unlock the weakest version. If there's any form of RNG roll that the power rolls on a range, it's always going to be in its weakest form, so you're still incentivized to go out into the world and find the random drops, but you have a deterministic way when you make a new character. Okay, I'm going to hunt for these dungeons to get these aspects for my build, to have a baseline level of power. During the Q&A, the devs were asked, what did they learn from past Diablo games? So from Diablo 1, they wanted to get that tone of gothic horror that really set Diablo apart from other games at the time. For Diablo 2, they were really looking for those systems that have depth, that unfold over time.
And we really wanted to capture that essence of having systems that unfold out and have all of this depth and ability to, look at it and nuance and think to yourself, okay, well, I'm really gonna learn all of the details of this, and I'm gonna by having a deep understanding of this, I'm gonna optimize my character in ways that people who don't understand these nuances will miss, and I'll feel like, oh, I really am optimizing through this system in that.
The character's really like an expression of the choices you've made while you're leveling up and like making interesting decisions, right? Like
that's a great point.
It's really, really important. A lot more of that power is based on decisions that players made along the way.
Power on the character itself versus
just stuff that you wear.
Itemization, absolutely.
And for Diablo 3, they wanted to nail that same fluidity of the combat. They were asked more about the Battle Pass and said that the Battle Pass will last a whole season, 3 months. They said active players will have no problem completing the Battle Pass, will have plenty of time. They reaffirmed that pretty much whatever you do is going to be contributing towards your Battle Pass. And I believe they said it'll take about 75 hours of play, again spread out throughout the 3 months, to fully complete the Battle Pass. So if you got 90 days in a 3-month period, you don't even have to play for 1 hour a day every day. Also, your Battle Pass is tied to your Battle.net account, so because D4 is going to be cross-platform, if you play on PC and then you swap over to Xbox, you'll still have your Battle Pass if you purchased it. That said, you do have to purchase the base version of the game because, of course, Microsoft and Sony, they need their cut too. So you got to buy the game again on whatever platform that you're going to want to play it on. We also found out that there's going to be a number of returning familiar items to D4 in the form of uniques. They mentioned the Shaco, the Windforce, the Grandfather, the Mage Fists, and they both chimed in on some fun facts they discovered while developing Diablo 4. Joe Pipora expressed that it's important to reveal choices to players gradually as to not overwhelm them.
Very, very important while we're allowing players to make a lot of choices and they're thinking about the way they make a really interesting character for themselves, that we unveil that kind of slowly initially. Otherwise, we have a tendency to get people really scared about making choices, and they kind of clam up, which is obviously not what we want. We want people to be able to engage with these kinds of features. So it's maybe not a fun fact, but I think it was very, very interesting. We went through a lot of iterations to get to the right place. I'm really happy with where we landed.
And Shelley sort of had a counterpoint as well, where you don't want to lock players into an initial choice because then you're biasing them towards keeping with the choice you set for them. Basically, at first, Diablo 4 just gave you one of 5 starting skills, and you can always respect that. But they found players would tend to just stick with the one that the devs selected for them. So later on in Diablo 4's development, they had you actually start with just a basic attack, and then you unlock your choice of 5 and make your own decision. The devs then said that we won't be hearing from them again for a little while, as they want to take the Christmas holiday season. But there was a hint for Diablo 3 players that tomorrow they'll be revealing a holiday event. Diablo 2 players got the reveal of a holiday event earlier this week. We'll have some news on the Darkening of Tristram, the annual event that begins in January. And of course, we're expecting the PTR for the next Diablo 3 season to begin at any point now. That's gonna wrap up this video. As a reminder though, we got our hands-on preview video for Diablo 4 over here. We got our video talking about the release date announcement and everything we learned there. And if you're looking for a deeper dive into the story, the backstory, the lore of Diablo, we got an entire series in which we talk about Lilith and Inarius. Thanks for watching. Special thanks to my Twitch, Patreon, and YouTube supporters for making these videos possible. If you like what you see on this channel and want to support the creation of more content, you can consider pledging on YouTube or Patreon and unlocking behind-the-scenes content, monthly virtual hangouts, and more. If you enjoyed this video, please share it. Check out these other videos and subscribe to join Riker's Raiders for more Diablo content.